I'm gonna show you how to achieve this super snatch sculpted look using the underpainting dual-ended sculpting brush and the underpainting palette using my signature technique. So we have a color corrector, 2 highlight colors, and 2 contour colors. So I'm gonna start with the small side of the underpainting dual-ended sculpting brush, and I'm gonna go into the color corrector right here and see this like nice little dark area. You're just gonna hover that up. And I always get a little bit darker out here. And also doing this is gonna create like a little bit of a lift on the eye. You don't wanna go too far when you're color correcting. You wanna remember that this is not a concealer. This is color correcting those dark tones. So you don't wanna go too far. You wanna get it right where you get dark. Okay, so now I go to contour and I'm gonna use the big side of the dual-ended sculpting brush. So I'm gonna start with this color. And this color is like a nice cool tone brown. So what you're doing with contour is you're creating shadows. So that's what we're gonna do. And I always like to start like right here. And you can even like pull the face a little bit if you want in that direction. And I always like to apply it in the direction that I want like the face to go. Like I wanna like lift up. I wanna create like a sculpted, lifted effect. Start with the eye, then just kind of go up the forehead. And I always like to get it from like the arch of the brow up. So like the highest point in the brow. I'm not going under the cheekbone, I'm going right, see where that curve is? Right on the lower part of the curve. So like here's the highest point of the cheekbone. You just wanna go right under it and kind of hug it. This is gonna create more of a lifted effect. If you wanna contour and create more of a sculpted looking cheekbone, you can go a little bit lower than this. I'm just kind of like accentuating the jaw right now. If you wanna make your jaw look a little smaller, you can go right on the jawline. I just wanna like accentuate what's naturally there. And a lot of contours, I feel like have really hard edges and make it a little bit harder to blend out, but these are really soft. It's creamy, it's blendable, it's buildable, so you can create your desired look. It's also very forgiving. I'm just gonna use this same contour color that we've been doing, and I'm gonna contour the nose a little bit. I always like to start at like the end of the brow, and rather than going on the side of the nose, I like to do it on the top, and I just kind of bring it down halfway on my nose. And if you wanna create like that little line, if you wanna kind of lift it up a little bit, or if you wanna carry it down to the tip, whatever you want. I'm gonna use the highlight 1. I always like to kind of create this little, like a little flower in between my brows, and then bring it down the bridge. So I'm just grabbing a little bit of highlight 1 and going like right here to just kind of bring it out. I feel like I get like kind of sunken in right here and in the under eye area. I'm gonna actually mix highlight 1 and 2 together. And then I like to go just a little bit under this contour, just because rather than going so dark, you can kind of just highlight against that and it's gonna create like more of a sharper line. This palette is unique because the formula melts seamlessly to give you that second skin effect. You can take any of these steps out as well. I'm just simply showing you all the things you can do with it. Here's another little trick. I'll kind of go under the mouth and drag it up. That's gonna create other little angles of a lift. So when you're contouring, you always wanna think like where the shadow would be on the face. And when you're highlighting, you always wanna think of where the light would be, like where the light would hit you, like good lighting. Okay, so now I'm going in with foundation. You wanna use a sheer to medium coverage foundation. You don't wanna do anything too matte or too full coverage because you're just gonna cover the underpainting right up. So you want it to come through. See how you could see right through it and everything? You can still see the sculpture of the face, but you can't see like the lines. And if the contour isn't perfect, it won't be noticeable because again, super forgiving. So now I finished applying the foundation, and if you want to keep going or if you want more structure, you can layer another layer of the contour on. So, or you can do all the steps again. If you want more highlight, you could do more highlight. If you want more contour, I'm just gonna grab a little bit more of this, and we can go a little bit more intense if we want. I always like a good lift right there. So here's another fun thing you can do with the palette. My contour, highlight, foundation is done. So contour 2 is a warmer shade and you can use it as a contour. I like to use a cooler tone for my skin, but you can also use this one with the cream blush brush as a bronzer. So I'm just gonna dab the brush in it a little bit, go on the back of my hand, and then you wanna get it on the high points of your face, like where bronzer would hit. I always like to like kind of dust it across my eyelids. And you always just wanna think of like where your face naturally gets sun. But yeah, now you've got a little bit of bronzer. And now you can see how it really lifts and defines the face. And I promise it's super easy. It only takes a few minutes. You got this.